All right. Still trying to figure this out. I believe I'm live at this moment. I get this confused every time. Yes, I am. Okay, cool. All right, let me just get this all set up. I'm gonna do a couple things. I'm going to share this on my Facebook page. Let me just see if I can see it here on my phone. I'm trying to get all this in order. I'm getting better at this. So hold on one second. Sorry, thanks for your patience. Okay. Okay. Not seeing it on my phone, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe somebody can tell me at some point. Okay, cool. So let me just share over to the Heart of the Matter group. That's something I want to make sure happens so they can see it. And I'll be right there. So share. Okay. Almost there. Okay, cool. So I'm coming on today to share what has, this is very interesting. Okay, I'm coming on today to share, I actually wrote it down. I usually just come on and like share through intuition. Oh my gosh, we just moved, Snoopy's in the background with me, which is super cool because I loved Snoopy as a kid. But here's what's been coming through me. So it's so much that I had to write it down, but it really is about this concept of alchemizing, however you say that word, the kind of mess or the chaos of what education is today with COVID and our current system pre-COVID, and really starting to figure out how we turn that into gold. And I really believe that as a collective and rising in consciousness, we can actually alchemize this into gold. And so really this message is for the seekers, the change makers, the visionaries, the educators, the parents, the caretakers, really anyone who interacts with kids, which is a lot of people, right? Because they are a future for that great cliche. So I want to start by saying we are in a very intense time of change. Like, unless you're living under a rock, you really understand that this is a completely intense time of change. And here we go. This is good. Now I can see on my phone too. Cool. Okay, so this is an intense time of change. So really what's happening is a lot of our comforts and our securities are being stripped away from us, right? So whatever is your most comfortable thing, in some way that's being stripped away from you. And we're just undergoing this massive evolution and this massive change, which is super painful and super difficult. But at the same time, there's a massive opportunity to turn some of these things into gold in the future. And I guess what I would like to say is that I know right now a lot of people are thinking about like, what am I doing with my kid in 1 month? I work at a school and I'm like, what are we going to do in 1 month? We have a plan, but like the guidelines are different depending on which agency you're talking to, and nobody wants to take responsibility. But I really want to actually get up, like really elevate us in this conversation to another level of consciousness and really thinking about the long-term vision, the long-term arc, not just the fear and the concern that's in front of us. Though that is really important, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't address that, but it's not what I'm going to be talking about today. And so, so I do want to hold that messiness. I really want to hold that messiness of where we are currently and really make sure that people hear that that is a real issue that we have to deal with. But I want to actually take us to another level of something that's been, I just really want to shine the light on what my intuition and the source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to name it. Once you've named it, then like the Tao says, once you give it a name, then you've already put it into the mind. But this massive download that I've gotten really from a deep intuition is that our current system, I'm gonna say some really obvious things, but I wanna make sure just to like really steep this in the right context. So our current system, in case you don't already know this, but a lot of people do, and I talk to so many different people. I've been in schools for 20 years. I've said this before on a live, like I've worked in charter schools, I've worked in traditional public schools, I've worked in independent schools, private schools, international. So I've just seen this from so many different angles. And now I have my own children that are almost 7 and almost 10 years old. And so I'm seeing this from so many different angles. And what's really clear, just in case everyone else is not clear on this, is like we are working in a very 20th century education system, even quite frankly, like a 19th century education system. And so you're seeing a lot of that dysfunction as we're going through this massive change, because it's not set up to be this, it's the Titanic. It's not set up to just turn quickly. And so in case it's not obvious, we need to rethink it all. Like we need to not even rethink, we need to reimagine it all. And we really need to think about what this massive opportunity is to create change. Like it's a massive, 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 massive opportunity with billions of children across the world at home and billions of children trying to figure out if they're going back to school of all ages, right? It's a massive opportunity. And so I spent the last 20 years figuring out how do we change this Titanic? How do we figure it? How do we create a system that actually works for kids and adults and everyone within the system? And I know there's great, amazing educators. I'm a teacher and a school leader and an executive, and I know the teachers are amazing. So this is not a bash teachers message, but they're working within a system that's very difficult to navigate. And so I've worked on creating public charter schools as an alternative, as highlighting an alternative system. But what I want to really get at right now is that we have to show people what is possible. And we have to really start to unearth what is possible and completely shift the paradigm. So totally out of our heads and into our hearts and into this really big infinite possibility space of just complete infinity. Like there's no constraints. That's how we have to start to approach these problems, have to approach all of our problems, given the current climate we're in. And I think we have to really lean on the timeless wisdom teachings and really start to strip away the falsehoods, the conditioning, all the false self, all of the things on the outside that are absolutely false. And in order to solve this problem and to see the future for our children, that's where we have to start. And we have to connect and really lean deeply into this next level of consciousness that's happening. It's unearthing, it's unfolding, and we're experiencing it and witnessing it right now. And so that's why I built and birthed Heart of the Matter, which is really, the mission is to help humanity rise in consciousness. And our way of doing that is through education, parenting, reimagining how we're actually creating the environment and the soil for our children. So that's the Heart of the Matter group. I'll put it in the comments, heartofthematter.io. We just soft launched the website, a lot of cool things going on there. And that was really formlessness of just this energy that had been coming through me for several years around creating an environment and a platform where people can come together to reimagine school and reimagine the system. And so this is a movement. We have to really create a movement of change. And there's so many different models that we can bring up. So like I said, if we're getting completely out of our heads and into, this is all the writing I was doing, if we get out of our heads and we start to think about, and not even think about, but feel this as all the infinite possibilities, there are so many. There's so many different options that we don't even know, we can't even think of right now, because we're so trapped in this little tiny speck of a paradigm of what school can look like, of what our lives can look like for our kids, what schools and learning can look like. So many different models. One of the things Heart of the Matter wants to do is to actually highlight and amplify those amazing models across the world and find the best ones and say, like, here are the best ones, and let's amplify and let's give you the tools. If you're a change maker, if you're a parent, if you're a caregiver, a teacher, educator, whoever you are, we want to give you the tools to start to create this change. And so, but I actually want to share a vision today that is a little more of a nuanced vision than where I was last time I came on. And I want to definitely thank Stacy Mehas-Luansky, who I think is on right now, but I can't figure it out, and also Deb Bloom. So I'll tag both of them in the comments, but both of them have really inspired this vision and this idea. And it's really this idea around creating an actual virtual school. And so the premise of this virtual school, and really it's the beliefs of this virtual school, is that what if the premise of this school was that every single being, especially our little human beings, are powerful, autonomous, light-filled, amazing, free beings that are honestly capable of so many things that we have no idea. And what if we could actually create, and that these little beings, these little humans that a lot of us are caring for, are actually the ticket to helping us rise in consciousness as this new earth is unfolding. And what if we created a virtual school that actually created the soil for these kids to grow and to learn and to be their true selves and to do what they love to do. And at the heart of it all is actually teaching kids, which I talked about in my last life, to trust their inner guidance and the most authentic, free version of themselves. What if we didn't have to wait until we turned 40 and had a midlife crisis? What if we could actually accelerate that process for our kids and create an environment in a school where that was the heart of it? That was the heart of the whole entire matter, was to teach kids that you are autonomous, free beings, and trust that inner guidance, trust the most free version of yourself, and be that every single day as much as you can in this crazy world. What if we invited the most conscious, enlightened teachers from across the world to actually deliver the courses? Okay. The Eckharts, the Oprahs, the Dalai Lama, his birthday is like today or yesterday. And I actually had created a vision a few years ago at my school about the Dalai Lama had written a great piece in the Los Angeles Times, an op-ed about how we need heart-centered education. This was like 5 years ago, way before COVID, how we really needed to get out of our overly mind-based intellectual system and really start to create a heart-based system for kids to lean on love and their heart. And so I'm talking about that at like a much even like bigger level in terms of how we work with our kids. And so we bring in the Oprahs, we bring in the Dalai Lamas, we bring in the Eckhart Tolles, we bring in, I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on and on. Like the foremost experts, the most enlightened beings on this planet today, come on and deliver this to our children. Okay, we make this accessible to everyone, not just people that are wealthy. We make this accessible to everyone. There's a great story by Saguna Mitra. It's about the school in the box in a rural village in India. And they have a little computer in a hole. And these kids teach themselves so many beautiful things. So what if we actually made this accessible to everyone with just a click of a button? What if we created a community, which is really the intention of Heart of the Matter, where everyone could come together and support each other in this mission of trying to teach our kids these lessons? And we could all come together arm in arm, the leaders, the teachers, the educators, the school leaders, the parents, the caregivers, the grandmothers. Again, anyone who interacts with the children would be together, and we'd give you the tools, the resources. We'd connect you to this beautiful virtual school where your kids are learning how to trust their essence and how to be the most free version of themselves. And we're shepherding that together. And we could start like today. Like literally this has already been created because this has come from intuition. We could start today and create a virtual school and start putting courses onto the website immediately, the web platform immediately. We could start, and for those of you, and Deb, thank you for sharing this idea around, for your son who might not be going to college in the fall, like, could we create a course for them as a pilot in between now and the fall or December? And I know these ideas are really coming clearly and coming from a place of intuition, because when Deb gave me a message about this like a month ago, I almost crashed my car. She's like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, why can't we? And then when Stacy Boxer this morning with this beautiful message, like, why can't we put this on virtually like right now? We're already there. Eckhart and all these other amazing teachers are already doing this. Why aren't we creating a space where the kids can get access to this and it's actually developed for their age level? This is why I'm calling on all the teachers, the educators, the people that really understand how to make this happen. Like, if you understand the 5-year-old brain and you're like, this is how we need to create a course that Eckhart teaches. This is how we need Oprah to talk about this. This is how we need, and then how do we empower the parents? Because right now what we've seen is parents, caregivers, grandparents. I know it's not just traditional parents anymore, but how do we empower the people that are home with the kids or that are interacting with the kids the most outside of the school to deliver these lessons in the most seamless, simple, easiest way possible? And to understand that with COVID, there's so many things that were stripped away. We're not outsourcing our kids, 12 hours a day necessarily, at least not the majority of the public now. It's not outsourcing their kids all day. So we're spending a lot of us are spending a lot of time with our kids. And how do we actually empower ourselves to just be this magical school with these kids. And we could start with this virtual option, and then eventually we could have these micro schools or these small schools across the world where there are communities coming together to actually work on this, to have in-person versions of these schools across the world. And honestly, this is just one possibility. Like I said, there's there's thousands of possibilities of how we can change our schools, and how we're teaching our kids, and how we're educating, and how we're doing this thing that we've been doing since 1860 with our model, our current model. It's so incredibly outdated, and we really, really have to just completely just get out of the box, like not even out of the box, out of this planet, like into a different universe, and really start to imagine something completely different. And there's so many beautiful things that are already working. I'm not saying that everything's broken, but let's get those things seamless, done beautifully, done well, and make these infinite possibilities for the way we educate our children. What else was I gonna say? I think I'm gonna wrap that up. I wanted just to say that's why Heart of the Matter was born. This is why Heart of the Matter was born. I'm gonna keep sharing the intuitive messages. I didn't want to come on today. That's why I'm like wrote it down, and I'm a little like kind of like, you know, saying a lot and stuff like that, because usually I come on when I'm really in the flow, but I just felt like I had no choice today because it was coming so strongly through intuition. I was like, okay, I guess I have a choice, but I just need to do it. And we just moved into our house. Like things are still boxes and all that, but it's honestly become my life's purpose and my calling. And I feel like I'm just here to shepherd it through. I'm the ambassador for the change. And that's why I'm creating this web platform. That's why I'm creating the podcast, just to start to create this change. And I'm here to shepherd it, to bring it forward, and to collect just all these people to come into this and to help make this extremely amazing. And I really think like we have to make this happen, because it's already happening. It's already unfolding. And it's really, we have no choice. Like this is what we have to do for our kids. We can't keep sending them back to these 20th century institutions. And if COVID wasn't, you know, COVID and the systemic racism that's so incredibly clear now, depending on the color of your skin, the type of education you're most likely getting in this country, the equity issues, the just so many issues that we weren't, it's like everything that happened with COVID, this issues we weren't really willing to face. And now we're kind of like, we don't really have a choice. We have to face them. All right. And the thought of having all these kids going back and doing distance learning poorly, no offense to the teachers, but most of us, we can't do distance learning very well, especially the younger kids. And learning's a social sport. So with this virtual school I'm talking about, there'll be a lot of interaction with the parents and other human beings in place to make it as dynamic as possible. But we need something quickly, and this is just what came through today. And I don't know what the next steps will look like. I just wanted to put it out there, speak it to the universe, and to really say that I'm really calling on the change makers out there to come with me, to join Heart of the Matter, to help us make this happen, because there's no reason why we can't, and there's no reason why we shouldn't, and there's a million reasons why we should. So that's the message for today. I will put the Dalai Lama op-ed. It was really funny because I thought of that and I went to look at it, and then I realized it was his birthday. So I was like, oh, okay. Apparently that was meant to be too. Thanks, universe. And I will drop in a couple other things that I mentioned here, like the Heart of the Matter group and some other things. And I don't know if people, I see comments. Okay, I'm gonna hold on. I see some comments. I see some people. Okay, thank you. I'm not sure how to say your name. It's Grishel, but as a school social worker, I love today. Awesome, great, so doable, exactly. Okay, cool. Good to see that, good to see that. So I'm just sharing from source, and I have no idea what people are gonna think. So cool, all right, everyone, have a great day, and feel free to keep commenting. Let's keep the conversation going. I'll put the Heart of the Matter Facebook group in there, and we'd love to have as many people in there as possible. It's totally free, and we're just trying to create the movement. And check out the website, let me know what you think, because we just launched it and we're still in the process of fixing it. All right, thanks everyone. I'm going to end this now.